You convened in 1975 30 minority women of all races and backgrounds who were in the sciences to sort of look at what it was like, how they got there, how these women of science made it. And the result of that was the 1976 landmark report, The Double Bind, The Price for Being a Minority Woman in Science. One of the key things you talked about among this group was how, against all odds, did we 30 women make it? How and why? What was the answer to that?
Well, I was, just one of the staff people at the time, and my boss actually did the convening, and she sat down with me and said, well, what was it like? And I started to talk, and you began to hear the same stories over and over again, that you were like the strange person in the class, that you, in fact, made it in spite of, not because of. And I think that that was kind of like the theme that ran through the entire part. But the other part was that because you were both minority and female, different barriers appear at different times. That early on, the barriers were largely related to the fact that you were a member of a minority group who might have been discriminated against, or part of a school culture, or in a school setting where minorities were not seen as the material to go on to science and engineering. And later on, when you go into a college setting, that you then had the fact that you were female. And you were
double bind.
The double bind. You then had the fact that you were female that kicked in and caused people to not see you as being a person who could go on in science. I mean, I had one student actually say to me, I was pre-med when I first started this, why do you want to go to medical school?
You had a student say that?
This is a student. Don't you realize you're just going to take a man's place?
Oh my.
And so you just kind of got used to it. I said to him, it's only his place if he earns it. The kind of assumption that he was entitled and that I was not worthy.